Every woman knows chip happens on your nails and in your life. On the Live Like Your Nail Color podcast, we explore how to flip the chip, how to flip a challenge that's holding you back into something more positive that can help you move forward. Hi, I'm your host, Mary Foley. If this is your first time listening, well, welcome. And a quick heads up. After a year and a half of conversations with insightful midlife women, I've temporarily shifted my podcast format to short stories from my journey as a sidekick caregiver for aging loved ones, including my mom who has dementia and my uncle who's in hospice. And I call these stories Flip the Chip moments. I'm finding that some of the most difficult moments in life can also be the most beautiful. And I really think that there's something in these stories for each of us. But before I share my latest story, do you know your nail color persona and what it reveals about you? Well, I have a quick quiz where you can find out. It's short, it's simple, and it is spot on. All you have to do is go to livelikeyournailcolor.com and look for the button or the link that says, "What's my nail color persona?" to take the quiz. All you do is answer a few quick questions, and in the results, you'll find out your specific nail color persona. There are 5 of them. What are your built-in strengths with that persona? And what to do when chip happens. Again, all you have to do is go to livelikeyournailcolor.com. Now for today's Flip the Chip moment. Hey everyone, good to be with you again. I want to share a story today that is kind of a continuation of the story that started a few stories ago, where my uncle gave me a plea that I'll never forget, where he simply said he wanted to be around his family in his final days. Now, a situation is that he's in a memory care unit. And that means he can't go out, by himself. It's all just because of his cognitive condition. Although, it's just a situation that's hard because he has enough cognition to know he wants to get out and he wants to explore things. And he wants to kind of have that interaction with family. But that's not the situation right now. And so in my short story before, and I'll put a link in the show notes so that you can listen to that if you'd like to, Bill and I decided that, well, what can we do? And we made a choice. We just said, well, we're going to come to see him more often. If he can't come out and see family, then family could come in to see him. And oh my gosh, 6 weeks later, something happened that felt like a mini miracle. And what overall really happened was this renewed desire by some of his direct family to take him out and to see how it goes. Because, see, the last time they took him out, it did not go well. In fact, he had to be kind of tackled so that a car didn't run over him. Okay. So this is the kind of thing, like what might happen. But here we are, months later from that incident, and now 6 weeks later from his plea. And there was this renewed desire to go out. He wanted to see his parents' gravesite, which was nearby. And it happened. It happened because his daughter and son-in-law said, "Let's do this." And so we said, "Great." And we were there, and it was this beautiful fall day. It was sunny, it was slightly crisp. And when we got to the cemetery a little while later, a short while, my mom and dad came. And so that means a brother and sister. My uncle is the brother, and my mom is the sister. And they got to see each other, and of course, at their parents' gravesite. And there was at one point, it was funny actually. At one point, my mom and her brother are sitting on this bench and they're talking, so engaged with one another. And he is telling her why he has this bump on her head. And she is listening so intently. And then she was smiling and believing every word of it. And by the way, it was an amazing, fantastical story, which isn't exactly true, but that didn't matter. She was listening and he was telling, and she was believing, and it felt like in that moment, like the older brother and the younger sister on the school bench, in the play yard after school, and what happened that day. And it was so dang cute. and so great. And for those of you who are on my email list, you're going to get a photo of that because it's just joyous, really. It's just joyous. And there was laughter and there was talking and then there were photos. And then the 90 minutes was over. All of this took about 90 minutes. And then, well, mom and brother, her uncle, my uncle, got tired and we had to take him back. And fortunately, he went back very peacefully into the memory care unit. But he was so happy to have been around some family and get outside for a period of time. And so as we're driving away, I'm thinking to myself, what just happened? Because it felt so easy and it felt so happy when 6 weeks ago it felt so heavy and it felt so hard. And as I was thinking about that more, I thought, man, I had no idea this would happen, but I did have hope something like this would happen. And I got to thinking about, well, how did it happen and why did it happen? And, just a little bit more of that. And I was reminded of the power of choosing to do a positive action, no matter how small it may seem in the moment, like going to see my uncle more times and letting my cousin and my mom and dad just know, hey, I went to visit. Here's a picture, just a little update, how it's going. And then we did another. And sometimes Bill went, sometimes he got a shave, sometimes we gave him cookies, sometimes we took him to the outside area that's enclosed or it's gated. And one time we actually were sitting on the bench and it fell out from underneath of us, which was hilarious and had nothing to do with our weight. But anyway, everybody was fine, but that was a little eventful. The point is we just kept showing up, having exchanges and telling stories, like not a huge, big thing. And yet, here's what I thought further. What happens is when you give something or someone some attention, you give them energy, you really give them some of your life. It's a life-giving exchange. That alone can spark others around you to do the same. And that can build momentum. And then in time, it can feel like an event or something that happens that's a mini miracle. And the flip is this. And I was reminded of this and I want to share it with you. Never believe that your small gestures of care, of kindness, of love, never believe that those small gestures don't matter. Because just the opposite is true. They are, in fact, the energy of life. And the truth is that small things make a big difference. Small things make a big difference. I hope that's encouraging to you. Because in a world and in a day when you have so many things to do or get done and interactions, and you can think this one little thing for this person or a follow-up on that person or something even small for yourself that you need to do for self-care won't matter, but it does. Hold on to that. That is life-giving. Hey again, thanks for listening. And I hope you found today's Flip the Chip moment hopeful and inspiring for the challenges in your life. Remember, when you choose to flip the chip and don't give up, somewhere in that is something beautiful that's worth the journey. Now, please do not like or comment about this episode and do not subscribe to this podcast. Please keep this all to yourself. Are you kidding me? Please like, comment, and subscribe because it helps me know if these stories are meaningful and it helps others find this podcast. You can also hop on my email list where I share popular replays and other goodies that you can't get otherwise. You just go to livelikeyournailcolor.com/notify to get on the list. That's livelikeyournailcolor.com/notify. Be with you again soon.